The goal of this class is to describe the attractions in Nova Scotia, remember the attractions in each city and town, while being able to create and recommend travel itineraries. The following presentation about Nova Scotia Attractions is in partnership with the textbook Selling Destinations, Geography for the Travel Professional by Marc Mancini. Let's begin. Almost completely surrounded by water, Nova Scotia boasts a string of more than 65 seaside fishing villages and towns. It is the focal point of Canada's fishing industry and it's significant in history, music, and literature. Nova Scotia is connected to New Brunswick by only a narrow isthmus, which borders a remarkable Bay of Fundy, whose tides average more than 14 meters, the greatest in the world. The Cabot Trail of Cape Breton Island is a 300-kilometer sightseeing drive that loops along Nova Scotia's northernmost point. It is one of the most scenic drives in North America. With rolling green hills and rugged coastal cliffs, the trail is not only visually remarkable but also winds past several interesting attractions. It is one of 11 sightseeing routes in the Nova Scotia Scenic Travelways system. Located in Baddeck, at the beginning of the Cabot Trail is the Alexander Graham Bell National Historic Site, the world's most comprehensive museum on the telephone inventor's scientific and humanitarian achievements. The Cape Breton Highlands National Park offers waterfalls, landscapes, beaches, and spectacular cliffs. The park attracts those into ecology, hiking, and photography. The Fortress of Louisbourg, located on Cape Breton Island, is a National Historic Site and a meticulous restoration of the town and fort as it appeared 250 years ago. It is complete with authentically costumed staff, soldiers, and artisans. Question time! What is the name of the scenic drive through Cape Breton Island? The correct answer is the Cabot Trail. Second question, where will you find the greatest tides in the world? And the answer, the Port Royal National Historic Site located near the southwest coastal town of Annapolis-Royal. The park's Port Royal habitation is an exact replica of the fur trading post built by Samuel de Champlain and Pierre de Gouademois in 1605. Nearby is Fort Anne National Historic Site and Museum, with a preserved fortress. The Grand Prix National Historic Site is a setting for Longfellow's famous poem, Evangeline. The park commemorates the exile of the Acadians in the mid-18th century. Just a short drive from Halifax, you will find Peggy's Cove. This picture-perfect fishing village is complete with an old lighthouse and fishing wharves. It may be the most frequently painted site in all of Canada. Many visitors stop just outside of the village for a picnic lunch along the shore. Old Town Lunenburg is the UNESCO World Heritage Site featuring buildings dating back to 1760. Lunenburg's attractions include many Victorian homes and the Blue Nose 2, an exact replica of the famous international sailing champion which is docked here when not on tour. Fun fact, the Blue Nose 2 is featured on the Canadian 5-cent coin. Halifax is the capital of Nova Scotia, featuring numerous museums, landmark buildings, galleries, shops, restaurants, and a casino. It is the largest city in the Atlantic provinces and has become a vibrant and contemporary city. It also retains a small city ambiance and reflects Nova Scotia's cultural and maritime past. Options to see Halifax include a harbor cruise, a stroll along the harbor, or taking in its many sights. The Halifax Citadel National Historic Site finished construction in 1856. It was originally built to defend the harbor below. The star-shaped historic site gives visitors the opportunity to explore the history of the fortress and the soldiers who were stationed there. Pier 21 National Historic Site marks the place where more than 1 million immigrants gained entry into Canada. Another historic place is Fairview Lawn Cemetery, where 121 victims of the Titanic sinking and later those of the disastrous 1917 Halifax fire were buried. Other sites of interest for visitors to Halifax include the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic, Province House, or by taking a tour of Alexander Keith's Brewery, which happens to be North America's oldest working brewery. And question time. Where will you find a replica of the Blue Nose 2? The Blue Nose 2 can be found in Old Town Lunenburg. Second question. What is the name of the oldest brewery in North America? That would be Alexander Keith's. This concludes the slideshow about Nova Scotia attractions. Here you will find a list of sources used. Please do not hesitate on any questions you may have.